Hey everyone, the Mature Simmer here. So, I'm pretty sure this episode's basically going to be as close to the American Truck Simulator version of Farming Simulator as I'm ever going to get, because I've basically got multiple things I need to do that will involve a truck. So, first thing I'm going to do, because I think the sooner I do it the better, is I'm going to get pigs to market. So I need to get the animal trailer and get that over to the pig pen. Alright, so I'm going to need to go around this way. And back into the paw print area, which is where we'll then be able to interact with the trigger appropriately. Get to that door, and I think it should, if I remember when I drop these off, I should get some sort of a trigger point. There we go. So it says open animal dialogue. So at this point I'm looking for my 1,200 pigs, my $1,200 pigs, and I want to move all 12. And let's see, I'll try the same thing here. So there's 6 of those. I'm going to move them to the trailer. And let me make sure. Nope, there's 6 of these. Alright, so it looks like we have those. And then, do I have, yes, so I have 12 of these. So let's see, will it let me? I guess it will. I forget how much space we have in the trailer. Alright, so that means I've got room for 36 pigs. And at this point, these should be having pigs, those. So literally, other than these, so yeah, these couple at 283 are still in puberty. So as it says, this is a piglet, and then anything over 6 months can reproduce. Alright, so at this point I've got pigs. You can hear them squeaking in there, or oinking in there, I guess, right? Pigs don't really squeak, they might squeal. Alright, so checking the transport, yeah, it looks like I can get 36 pigs in there, which is what we have. So we're maxed out, and at this point we only have the ability to take them to the animal dealer. So one of the things I talked about in the previous video, whether you watched it or not, I'll bring it up here, is it occurred to me, like, there's not a production option for something in essence like a slaughterhouse for animals, because obviously pigs get turned into ham or bacon and other things. Beef cattle get turned into beef. Sheep obviously get eaten. Chickens get eaten. Like, it would seem a kind of a logical thing to do, but for whatever reason it wasn't provided with the general game, and I don't think anyone's filled that gap with a production. And maybe it's because animals are not really a fill type per se, so maybe we can't interact with them in productions. I'm not sure. I will probably start asking around and asking that question. Not as if I can specifically do anything about it. I am not a modder. I don't know that I would ever be able to be a modder. I think the amount of effort to learn how to do that appropriately is just something that I don't have time or frankly inclination for in my life. So I think if I did something, it would be like the simplest, junkiest version of it possible, and that's not going to make me happy nor anybody else. So, you know, obviously if it's something I'm not loving, like some of these modders absolutely obviously do, and I'm also eternally grateful for them being in that boat, but I'm also self-reflective enough to know that's not me. 30 years ago, that would have been me. Now, not me. So, you know, I'm not going to try to fool anybody that I'm suddenly going to get this desire to put out wonderful, great mods and learn how to do that. If I was ever to do anything, it might be maps. I have more of a draw to that than I do to mods. But even that, I just know from looking at what people do, and like the modders, the map makers that I really enjoy their work, like Oxygen David and stuff like that, how long it takes them to do a map, where once again, they love it, they're dedicated to it. Like, clearly, this isn't something you throw together in a couple weeks. And so, therefore, I also know the time thing becomes more of a factor. Desire's certainly there, more than it is for modding, but it's just not something I'm going to become good at and proficient at this point in my life. Things can change, but that's where I'm at right now. So, you know, it's one of those things when I truly get to the point where I retire, you know, maybe I'll be looking for some kind of a challenge, and it'll be like, sure, I'm going to start doing farming simulator maps. But this is not that time. Well, that was fun. I saw it said animal dialogue, and then of course it didn't. Alright, there we go. So now I can come here and select and sell. So there we go, 14,000. Select, sell, 7,200. Alright, so I have sold them all. So 14,000 times 3 basically gets me what? $42,000 if I'm doing my math in my head correctly. So that is a worthwhile endeavor. You know, if we think back to the effort with the bees, where I load up an entire trailer and I get $1,000 out of it, and that's been, you know, probably a year's worth of production. Where these pigs, we may be approaching a year as well of them being on the farm. $1,000 versus $42,000. Very different prospects of, is it a good place to spend our time? So, not saying I'm going to get rid of the honey, but I will say it sure gets darn tempting to maybe get rid of the honey and, I don't know, do sheep, do chickens. It would give me that option, because the honey's nice when we needed some income and we wanted something to do, but at this point, this should be a self-perpetuating money machine, because I'm just feeding them and keeping, you know, good care of them, and then I just sell 36 of these little suckers and I make $42,000. And really $43,000, so not a bad trade in my mind. Certainly something I enjoy doing. That is not a very long trip. I can get there pretty quickly. It's all good. So yes, the other thing I am contemplating is, we've been told there's pallet storage on that we can purchase, but I wouldn't do it from an animal perspective. I don't think that would make a lot of sense. And because basically I'd have to put the pallet on something, get it there. I mean, I suppose I could just run it over with the forklift, and then get it, back out and then load it on a truck eventually, because the idea would be, can I do something else? But it does give me an intriguing prospect here, of do I want to, try something else? It's like I said, I mean, I've supported cattle or, dairy farms before, and I just frankly don't like a lot of grass work. I mean, I'm not a big make hay, make silage, make TMR type person. Again, it's not that I can't do it, wouldn't mind, it's not like I hate doing it, but to me, the farms that have done really well with that, like, that's been their focus. They decided, I'm a dairy operation, and so, like, they just grew grass pretty much all the time and did very little else. I'm like way close to this tree, but I guess doesn't matter, right? As long as I'm in there. So we've got this put away till we need it next time. And the reason I'm being very time agnostic is I don't know what that means. Because the piece I haven't learned is, now when do they cycle over? Alright, so I'm heading over to get some pig food so that we can top things off and make sure that the pigs are doing okay. Obviously, we got rid of some, but we're still going to obviously have to feed the rest. And so the goal is to get that taken care of. A little bit stuck there. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead like I did before. Even though there's a little bit left there, I'm going to definitely fill it with, so I'm going to buy 32,000 liters again, and that will absolutely make sure that I've got food for a while. Obviously the goal is to not be locked out of the servers again, but we can't control that. Alright, so here we are. Again, let me set it to 8. And that's 8, 16, 24, 32. So go ahead and get those loaded. So I'll take care of that. And, we'll obviously then go get that delivered so that the pigs are in good shape. But I should be able to line this up and load it pretty quickly like I did before. So there we go. It'll just start randomly taking bags, and then we'll, obviously once we're full up, we'll get that over to make sure that they're ready to eat away and that they're going to be healthy. Alright, so back here, gotta go around. Actually, yeah, let me go this way, because if I can back in from that side, it's easier to get the feed in and make sure that I'm not wrestling around with the trees and driving all over. So similar to when I went in and get the pigs, the silo for the feed is right back here as well. So it's always a little bit of a trick to get in here, but it shouldn't be too bad. It should be a pretty straightforward reverse into that location. Sorry about that. Just took me a little while to get going. Had to take a peek at something. So yeah, let's line it up. Get back here. So that one straight back is the door for the animals. So I've got to go over to the right a little bit. So just keep moving that along, but yeah, just kind of hard to see what we're doing there. Alright, so I think I'm at the right angle. I just now need to head back. Go. There's the food. Just looking for the trigger to pop up. Not quite yet. There we go. Right, so dump that in there. And pretty sure it should take it all. Alright, definitely got it in there, so that's important. So that should keep them fed for quite a while. I just need to monitor how quickly we get new ones so that we can try to keep things moving and keep the money going. So I'm going to need to figure out what that cycle is going to be like. Don't need to go back, need to go forward. So pull out of here. And then at this point, I'm going to need to see what I can do with, I think I'm going to take a look at the slurry, because I'm pretty full there, so, but obviously I need to get this thing parked before I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that taken care of. Alright, so now I've got my tanker. I did need to take a look and make sure that it actually would haul slurry as well. I believe it will. So we're obviously going to find out when we get there to load it up. But that was one of my concerns, is that I was going to need to get an additional trailer, but I think I was kind of careful when I looked at it that this would give us some options. And I think this is a universal trailer, so that definitely helps and avoids any kind of challenges that way. So let me figure out what I'm going to do here. Alright, so you can see we're doing pretty well on the food here. Full up, so everything's good there. Different, we're waiting for the pigs, and then our slurry, as you can see, super full. 51,000 is a lot to take in one load, so I'm going to go ahead and divide that up, more than likely, because of the weight. If you remember what we've done before, where we fill up this tanker and then we can't pull it, I definitely want to go ahead and avoid that problem if I can. So let's go ahead and pull up here, and I'll take maybe half of it. So obviously it doesn't show us a ton of pigs because we've got still 70 in there. I think that's good enough. So let me head on out. Hopefully that won't be too heavy. I don't remember. I don't know that I actually looked slurry up, but I don't know if it's 1-to-1. Meaning a pound or a kilogram per liter, so that this is 26,000. But either way, at least it looks like I can move along, which is definitely nice. And so yes, 2 trips take a little longer than 1, but they're faster than 1 really, really slow trip, which we've obviously experienced some of those. And even, yeah, climbing up here, I'm slowing down quite a bit. But there we go, we've crested that, so I think we're okay. So yeah, this is not too bad, and you know, we had like 51,000, so this is literally about half of it. So we should have a load just like this. So we can take this to the PV Mart. They're the only ones that buy it. So price is what it is. I can't do anything about it, but this way I at least make a little bit of money off of the byproducts of just having pigs, because obviously they're going to go ahead and poop. And so I need to clear that out every once in a while. And if we didn't have the server problem, I would have been in here earlier doing it, but obviously we couldn't get to it. So that's again why we've got a ton of truck stuff to do in this case here. So I'm trying to remember where the PV Mart is. I think it's on the south end, but oh, Fire's moving around on his field. That's always good to see. I did see that he was on when I got onto the server, but always fun to see activity in the server, definitely. Otherwise it just feels like we're doing a fancy single player where stuff moves around here and there, but so, you know, he's moving. We've got Swede buying the field, so good to see activity going on again. So I know, let's take a look. So that's the biomass elevator. All right, PV Mart. So let me just take a peek, make sure. Yep, so $35 per 1,000 liter, and so it's that one there. I think I know how to get there from here. I'll just turn on this road. I really should be back one, but I think I can get there from here. So I'm not remembering if this is the same place that I delivered honey to. I think the honey went here to the grocery mart, which is what I thought was the PV Mart, but clearly it's not. If I remember, oh, that's right, PV Mart's that white and red shed with the tractors. I've got to find a way to get up front. There we go. Yeah, I'm not going to try to thread the needle between the tractor and the van and get stuck, so I'm going to go this way. Everything should be good. And there we go. So we can unload. Can start seeing the money go up. Definitely a good thing. So whatever we make off of it is a plus. Alright, so about $900. Not bad. So yeah, compared to, you know, that's about how much we make on the, you know, a little bit of the honey and so forth. It's about 1,000. But it'll just depend, you know, how things are going. But at this point, you know, we've made 42,000, 43,000 on the pigs. You know, we got this little bit going on. It's just a little bit tempting to take a look at potentially doing something else with the animals and maybe not sticking with the bees and the honey. Not that loading any other pallets are different, but there's just a little bit more involved, and I think there's a little bit more reward as well in that case. Now again, if we had the slaughterhouse option, we'd be able to sell everything for meat, but right now, at least certainly in FSN, that option's not available. I'm definitely going to go take a look though and see if maybe I missed something. I'm hoping I did, because I might choose to do that somewhere in, you know, maybe one of the single players. All right, let's turn in here. I'm gonna, yeah. Alright. That was a little bit more entertaining than I would have liked it to have been. But we made it. As you can see in the trees, I've still got that weird thing that shows up, so that I've determined appears all the time, regardless of season and so forth. So, but we'll get back in here. We'll get the next load of slurry. Trying to think the best way to get in. I really can't. I guess I could pull around the other way, but the crop isn't. It's in its first growth stage, so I should be able to drive on it without any kind of impact of any crop destruction. So I'll do that, and once again, you know, I don't need to empty this that often. Obviously, we've had the pigs for over a year, and we're full, so. Alright, filling up the rest. See where we end up. And yeah, there we go. So a little bit less than the last load, but it all works out. It's all good stuff. And so we'll get a very similar amount, I'm sure, to what we had obviously with the last load, because the quantity's the same, and obviously the price is going to be the same when we get there. Alright, so here we are, delivering that load. See where we end up. So yeah, another 9, almost 800, not quite 900, so yeah, we got like 1,800 out of there, so again, we're at like 45,000. Obviously, we did have to buy the pig food. Now, the last thing I need to do is I am low on herbicide, so spraying weeds tomorrow, I need some more of that. So since I'm out and about with my tanker, I'm going to now take that down to the FSN custom silo area where the supply silos are, and we're going to pick up some herbicide there. Likely not a full trailer either, for the same reason, because of the weight. But that will make sure then we're ready to go to get rid of the weeds and just keep ourselves moving as efficiently as possible, because I only had about 3,000 liters in the silo when I took a look at it earlier. Alright, so here we are. Gotta go to the blue silo for the liquid items. Maybe blue for water. Alright, why is it not giving me a trigger point? What is happening now? There we go. Alright, not liquid fert, we want herbicide. So we'll get that going. And I'll probably do about the same amount as what I had in the slurry, because I don't think this weighs any more. Now the nice thing is, with everything we sold, like, we might still stay above 1.3 million, but we've obviously been able to get a lot of stuff done. Made some money on the pigs, the slurry, and, you know, it might basically cover what we need for the herbicide, which isn't just going to be one season, so that'll be good. And yeah, let it go a little bit further. Yeah, that's good enough there. Alright, 31,000. So, you know, definitely, you know, between that and the 28,000 for the pig food, we've obviously spent more, but once again, this isn't all for the pigs, and we're obviously trying to get out of the business of constantly buying pig food, but I need to go through basically getting 4 sets of different crops to be able to do that. To be able to create our own food. So kind of giving them some wheat, for example, like I'll have off the field, and then feeding them the rest with pig food. Like, I think it's going to negate things. It might help a bit, but I'm just basically not going to try that. If I got to buy pig food, I got to buy it. So I'll do that until I can be self-supporting with crops, and then we'll see how that changes the dynamic. Alright, so let's get this dumped in. Oh wait, I'm filling. I don't want to add more into here from there. I want to actually dump into the silo, so I need the visible eye trigger. There we go. So let me get that emptied. And then we'll be set, I'm sure, for a couple cycles with weed killer, so that'll be good. Alright, all empty. So let me get myself turned around. Obviously got to get this thing put away, but I'm not going to drag you through all of that. You know how back in a trailer looks like, and I'm thinking this episode's getting a little bit lengthy for just driving trucks around anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to have to back in there and go all the way around. I'm thinking that's going to take some time, so definitely going to skip that. Alright, all set. So thanks for coming along, and I will see you next time. Hopefully you're enjoying this as we go. We'll definitely get going with our pigs, and I'll see you next time. There they all are, 72, and they're all set.